How's it going, guys? It's Jimmy. Happy Saturday. It's the day after I worked with the dealer to uncrate the Honda CRF300L Rally. We're going to be kind of doing a closer look at the bike and then first impressions, taking it around. I rode it around the apartment about, I don't know, 6 loops, so wasn't much to say. All I can say is at night the dash is crisp, it's bright, it's awesome. But we're gonna get a closer look at this thing, so come on over. So first off, I guess we can start the bike. Pretty standard. Get her going. So over here, you can see the digital display where we have our fuel gauge, the time set, as well as the total miles per hour. I'm sure you can configure that to PPH, and then your gearing, miles currently on the bike, and let's see what else we got on this digital cluster. Select, apparently select defines the trip, so 1.7 miles, I guess they already have that set. The ABS switch, I guess, runs and apparently you can toggle that. And then, of course, neutral indicator, which is pretty nice. So, lights, very standard. Got the high beams on right now. Looks crisp. Horn. Buttons are pretty big, easy to go through. Switches are standard. Push in to cancel. Enter. Engine start. Hazard lights. I kind of like how prominent that is. And then, of course, cycling the engine to start. I think one of the things that comes to my mind is how you have the front bar stock by Honda. I think putting a phone or a GPS navigator on that front bar would be pretty ideal for offline maps. I have some ideas about some apps I can show you guys of what I've taken on road trips. The LEDs, can't say enough about them. Very clean. I think the stock tires, good dual sport tires, have yet to see how they're really going to handle on the off-road, but looks good to me. Again, the foot pegs, I wouldn't say there's much traction. Might have to go with something a bit more aggressive. More to come on that, but I think that there's a gaping hole to compress. If you're standing on the pegs, you'll get a bit more traction, but I don't think you'd get that much. One of the notable pieces, and I'll have to take out the key. So apparently they come with a tool crate. Let's see if we can do this. Okay. Yep. And have some handy dandy tools at hand, maybe put in wallet or some maps. I've seen people do this for weight reduction. I'm not gonna make any decisions yet till I really test this thing. Let's see. Like that. Okay. Another cool thing, and apparently this harkens back to the olden days, is that you have an O-ring clamp that you can engage with your key. So I'll go ahead and disengage this thing. Okay, it's actually loose. All right, and this thing should slip off if I can get it off. Okay, yep. So helmet comes off. I think that's a pretty neat feature to have. You don't have to think too much, and it's not something that's ultra high tech. So I do appreciate that by Honda. Okay, that's looking good. So we kind of went over the glove box and then the helmet clamp that they have, pretty nifty. I'm gonna talk a little bit about how it feels to sit on the bike. I'm 5'9", 165 pounds. When I get on this bike, you're gonna be tiptoeing on this thing. Not a big deal, just have your balance. You need to get some bigger boots, something with more traction to make you feel comfortable. That's all good, that all comes with time and balance. So, put the kickstand back down. Putting the kickstand back down, you know, I feel like they could have went with a wider flange, a wider footprint, because it almost feels like the bike's so top heavy and that stand's just barely hanging on. The angle that they use, I'll actually show you that. So if you look at the center mass of the bike, it doesn't really make me feel too confident that the center mass seems to be right at the edge of the foot peg. So that might be something I'll look to check out further, maybe get something a bit wider, a wider profile. It seems like this thing could slip and we're on level ground, so we're gonna take this thing around the block. I'm gonna, I guess, do a couple rotations and then I'll give you some first impressions on this thing. So first thing I notice is that the downshift's really easy. I don't know if they changed the downshift, but going neutral to first, it's not a huge clunk in the engine. It's pretty smooth. So the thing I'm noticing is the handle positioning on the bars for somebody like me of my stature, 5'9", 165. I feel like I got a really good range and grip on the bike. Next piece is that the power band smooth shifting up is really not noticeable. It's not a huge clunk to get to the next phase. I'm going to be going through another video where we actually take this thing up to speed, and I'll give you the power bands of what each gear can get to, range and rev wise, so we can show each other actually how this bike's going to move. But so far, I'm going to do another rotation and we'll see what comes up. Okay, second rotation. Thing I notice is that the tank grip on this feels great. Feels like as if you're riding a big bike. I like the fairings, the wind coverage seems great, but really getting your knees on this tank is going to make a whole world of difference, especially on the street and dirt. You want your knees on the tank to direct the bike. So I think the grip piece, the ergonomics are there. I really did enjoy that. Let's take her around, and I'm gonna make sure this time I'm standing up so I could get maybe a better sense of that posture. Posture standing up, really comfortable. It doesn't seem to be something that's straining. I have yet to see this because we got to take it off-road and
really take a look at how it does handle, but it's nimble, a lot more nimble than any other bike. The wind coverage, I can't stress that enough. This feels like an ADV that you could take for a long time and you won't really feel tired about it. Granted, I just did a couple laps, so maybe that's probably not true, but in terms of the actual strain of the movements, I'm not really too worried about this thing overpowering me. I think I have complete control, and I feel like the bike's not working me, I'm working the bike. The engine braking piece. This is a new engine. Honda's recommending at the dealership. They'd recommended that you ride conservatively the first 100 miles. Then at 600 miles, you're going to change the oil in the engine, and then after that, it's a 4,000 mile iterative cycle for your oil change. So, especially with new brakes, don't test the brakes out hard. Keep everything really light on the bike. I'm not trying to stress this thing out. I'm just trying to learn what's going on. We can evaluate the performance of this thing some other time in the right situation. Obviously, I'm just on street. This isn't supposed to be a bike that's going to take you 0 to 60 in 3 seconds. But what this bike should be able to do is it's going to handle 70 miles per hour comfortably. And it's kind of like this bike's an accessory to say, hey, if we need to ride on the highway, that's not going to be a huge deal. It's going to be able to do that, and you're going to be able to ride with confidence. But the main purpose of this thing, again, maybe that's why it's such a great bike to begin with, because you can take it out on the highway, you can work it through to get where you want to go, and then once you're there, you're able to execute your turns methodically and maneuver with agility. So super excited. We're definitely going to do a further dive into the ride. I think what I'm intending is that I'm going to have camera footage from the helmet so that we can have a conversation about exactly what I'm feeling, when I'm feeling it, because every time we do a lap, there are 1,000 ideas going through my mind, and which one do I talk to? It's a living, breathing process. So more to come on that. Thanks for taking the time to watch the video. We got a lot more things coming, but from what I can tell from this quick ride, it's the right choice. It feels great, it feels nimble, it's exactly what I expected. It's a dream bike, and thank you guys for watching. So, peace.